Welcome, welcome, welcome to amazing interview with the author who just released her book. My name is Vanessa Canterbury, and I am the CEO of Inspired by Vanessa, where I teach people how to turn their books into businesses. So we do all things self-publishing. So I am not going to delay this any longer. I am excited to be able to interview Gail regarding her book she just published. And the best thing about self-publishing is that what she owns all the rights to her book. So that's the most important thing that I'm always telling people is ownership, ownership, ownership. We don't have to go through a traditional publishing company where they get to take away our rights of something that we have envisioned. Now she is able to do amazing things with her book. Whatever she wants to do, she owns it, she could do it. So Gail, how are you?
I'm good, Vanessa. Thanks for having me.
What made you want to be able to reach out to Inspired by Vanessa to be able to get your book and that you have envisioned and turn to something that you can now have to be able to share with so many people?
Well, finding you was like a blessing in disguise,
Mhm.
a blessing indeed, because I've been working on this book for a few years and I had sought out like illustrators and others to help me to bring my vision to life. And the cost factor was the first inhibitor, and then all these other restrictions. They want to have all sort of input and rights, and at the end of the day you're only getting a piece of the pie, as it were, where they're getting the big chunk.
Mhm.
So I kind of had to shelf this project for a while until I could afford. I was thinking, okay, I need to save, I need to come up with this chunk of money to get my vision off the ground. And then one day I was on Facebook, scrolling around, looking at other authors. I joined this African American writers group, and you popped up,
Mhm.
and that was such a blessing, because then I was really able to take my vision and make it into a reality.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I was able to help. I know what it feels like to be able to want to put a book out there because my first book I held on to for 5 years. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm not going through this publishing stuff because after talking to so many publishers, it was like it just didn't make sense to me. And so I just shelved it just like you did. And people kept asking me when this book coming out. It's coming. I don't know when. And so I'm glad I continue to push forward to be able to build a team, to be able to have everything available where we like a one-stop shop for self-publishing. And I never had any intentions on helping other people publish their books. Never. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and publish all my books. And then Lord and behold, God's like, yeah, whatever. Keep thinking that. So I'm a believer that you don't touch people's babies. That's what I call the books. You don't touch their babies because that's somebody's vision. You make sure that you know exactly what you're doing before you even take that leap and go and touch somebody else's stuff because this is something that they treasure. And you want to make sure that if you're going to do it, make sure you do it with excellence as if it was your own. So I treasure the books and I cherish that entrust in me to be able to say, yes, I want to be able to go move forward and take it off the shelf, dust it off, and get the book out there. So I'm excited. I'm excited. So tell us about this book here. What's the name of the book? Tell us about the book. Don't tell them too much because we want them to go ahead and pre-order the book, right?
Right. Well, the title is The World on Our Street, and it was kind of inspired by my own kids. In the previous, we lived just outside of Atlanta for a while, and we were in a neighborhood where my kids would get out and play on the street with neighborhood kids. And we lived on a very diverse street. We had neighbors from, you could almost say, all over the globe. And I thought about it when I saw them really just enjoying each other and having a good time,
Mhm.
how the whole world would be just so awesome if everybody lived like this. If adults could get along just like these kids, they never ever had any hang-ups, any divisions, anything. It's just all about having fun and playing. Granted, the adult world is a little different, but looking at it through the eyes of a child, I
Mm.
saw a vision. And just like, Dr. Martin Luther King, I have a dream. You hope that one day we could get past
Mm.
all the divisions and the
Yeah.
roadblocks and the walls, and that we could really enjoy life like our children, or my
Mhm.
children in this case, like I saw them doing. So that was the inspiration for the book. And I thought, you know what, as a young mind, I was embarking on changing my career and going into the field of education. And I started out with early childhood education. And I thought, if we could pass on these values and open this kind of mindset to new young minds, that it would be the catalyst for change. Because sometimes, the older generation, the set in their ways, of course, experiences and things that happen to us in life kind of mold us. But if we could change the script for the younger generation,
Mm.
um, maybe this could be a vehicle for change. So I thought, let me put this down in a book for young readers and hopefully build on it, because this won't be the first. I'm working on book 2 as we speak, and build on that story and that narrative, and hopefully kind of build a vision for the future.
I love that when you said that, it was so diverse, especially with what's going on nowadays. It's like we so separated, and it's like we don't have to be separated. We all individuals, we all go through things, we all have every walks of life, we all can learn from each other. And so I love the fact that in the minds of children just want to be children. They want to go out and play. They don't look at the color of the skin. They just want to be kids. They just want to have fun. They want to be able to look back and say, dang, you remember we used to go to the park and with this person, this person, this person, and never had any worries at all.
Right. Yeah,
That
I
we need to
noticed
bring
that
that
because,
back.
right, it's amazing. I mean, the kids on the street, we had Latin Americans, we had Africans, we had people from India, we had Scandinavians,
Mm.
and none of my children ever inquired, why does so and so look like that, or why do
Mhm.
they talk like that, or something.
Yep.
Never came up. The only one, can we play? Can we do it? Oh, can
Yep.
we come over? Can we do this? They just don't see it. So this to me is, of course, definitely, and we know in psychology, we learn the fact that these are thoughts that are nurtured within our children when we
Mhm.
start to put up walls in their minds. How about tearing those walls down? Don't even start building them,
Mhm.
because I've experienced so much in my lifetime. I started traveling quite early with my parents and have traveled pretty widely as an adult. And I've realized in my own travels that, there are very few things that make people different.
Mhm.
Very few. It's so minute that you could almost overlook it. Um, and so, definitely, I mean, we know the world is not perfect.
Yeah.
However, we can start tearing down barriers,
Mhm.
and like I say, I think the youth, the young generation, and we see it now because schools are a lot more diverse, kids are
Mhm.
interacting with people from all over. So some of the things that maybe we in our generation were cultured into because of the disparities that we experience, they're little by little, these things are going away. And
Yeah.
so they're not experiencing that so much more. And so you're seeing a lot more of a melting pot, a more diverse atmosphere among the younger generation.
Mhm.
So to keep pushing that, because there are few things that divide us, and if we can get those things down, I think we have a better outlook for the future.
Oh God, yes. I remember when I was raising my kids, I would make it, I mean, personally make it my business for them to be around diverse people. Like the area, the schools, everything, they were so diverse. They spoke different languages. They knew sign language. And even when they went to go and visit their on their father's side, I mean, his friends or somebody else. I'm like, wait a minute, is their mother another race? Because these kids, the way they speak, their manners, they talk another language. What is going on here? And still to this day, I would say certain things to them that other people like, what? What is she? And my kids know exactly what
Exactly
I'm
what you
saying.
mean.
And
Yes.
it's so because I just raised them out, that was so important to me. I wanted my kids to be able to know that it's not just us out here. There's so
Right.
many of us that's out here that we all can learn from. And I don't want you to look at the color of somebody else's skin to see that we're different. We're not different. We're the same. It's
We're the
just
same.
society makes us different. And it
Right.
shouldn't be like that. And so if we could just get back to that, dang, I'm loving this because we need to get back to like seeing the world and through our children's, like through their lenses as
Right.
being children. We could learn so
So
much.
much
You
from
know,
them.
our children didn't worry about all this craziness. They didn't. They just would go out there and have fun. They will be risk takers. We as adults, goodness, we are the most scariest individuals. We're scared to take risk, but we'll tell our children, don't be afraid of
Great.
anything. And so
Right.
now they're not afraid of anything. It was like, dang, we didn't pick up that from them. What is going on?
Yes, yes. So, and then like I said, my experience in traveling, you realize we're part of a global citizenship,
Mhm.
right? Oceans don't even have to divide us anymore.
No.
One click on our phone, I'm doing
Mhm.
an interview from my telephone. One click on your phone, one click on your computer, and you can bring the world right
Yep.
into your own home,
Yep.
and you can transmit yourself to somebody else's living room. Why are we, thinking us versus them? That script needs to go away because,
Yeah.
you know, we're all part of a global citizenship, and our
Mhm.
children even more so because the world is now their oyster, and they're having opportunities laid before them to get out there, work in different countries, commute digitally to other parts of the world. So, yes, they need to be able to interact and to get to understand people and know their cultures, and so that they can, it's not like a scary, strange interaction. They're aware, they have this awareness that there is a big world out there. People are
Mhm.
people. We can all get along, and we share a lot of commonalities.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I agree. It just, I didn't travel a lot with my kids when they were younger, but when I got a chance to be able to travel, it was like, oh amazing just to see the outside because I raised my kids as a single parent. And so when you get a chance to be able to go out and explore, they get a chance to go out and explore. And when you come together and have this conversation, it's like, wow, we at least got a chance to be able to talk about something outside of our own world, our own city. So it's amazing. What's one of the things that you will take away or hope that people will take away from this book?
Just to make an effort. Change starts one person at a time. I feel
Hmm.
that way. Sometimes we think of the problems of the world, and we look to others to change it, or we look
Yeah.
for this big huge solution. But
Hmm.
just simply a change of mindset can be a whole new factor in how we approach our neighbors, the people we
Hmm.
interact with every day, get to meet them on a common level, on a common ground. And just like how we want to be understood, try to understand them.
Yeah.
Um, and just like a 5, 6, 7 year old with kids on playgrounds, just having a good time. They're not looking for what makes this kid different. They're looking, how can we play together?
That is true.
you know,
That is true.
so share my ball, share
Yeah.
my share my doll, whatever.
Yes.
So it's a similar thing. In this book, I show that as kids and as neighbors, we can share, and similarly, we should try to encourage that, in our own families, in our own lives, whether we're in the workplace. And I found personally, we all put up our little shields when we go out in the world. And sometimes just a kind word, a silly interaction, a
Oh yeah.
childish thing breaks down walls, and people realize, you know what, they're just like us.
Hmm.
And so that is my hope, that through my books, as I progress, that the readers will see that from a childish point of view, but see how as an adults we can, one, apply that to ourselves, and two, help our own children to see that yes, we're part of a big wide world.
Oh God. You have my mind just spinning. I can see your books in the libraries. I can see your books in the schools.
And
You know what
that
I
is
mean?
my
I can
dream.
see
That is
that.
my dream.
You know
Because
when
I teach social studies. I teach
oh wow.
social studies right now. And I think we need more of this.
Hmm. Yep. And just to be able, I could see how the teachers are sitting, the students are sitting around, and the teachers are reading the books. Those little things, they could take all of that stuff in, and now they can have a different conversation when they go home.
Right.
Like, wait a minute, we could do that too,
Right.
but especially with what's going on in this world now, it's just different. This is very, very different, and it's scary at the same time, because once the world open up, it will not be the same. It
No,
will
it will
not
not.
be the same.
It will never be
It's
the same.
right. And so it's like, we still want to be able to let our children be children. That's the most important thing. We want them to be children. And so, when you're told the kids about the book, what was they saying? Like, wait a minute, mom, are you serious now? I want to know what was your kids saying.
Well, they saw me working on the process over the years, from sketching it down in a book, coming up with the ideas of the characters in the book. So they kind of were along with me with the journey, and they saw my disappointments. My husband, I remember when I told him I talked to this illustrator, and she says it's $6,000, and and I was like, oh, so my family has been with me, and they've been excited. And then when I met you, and I said, I found somebody who can help me and I can afford it, and we're going to do it. And she says, we're going to get it published by X date. They were with me, I showed them all the mock-ups and everything. So they were just as excited. And, my son was like, oh, my mom is going to be an author. So
Oh God.
they're very excited for me and, other members of my family. So we were on the journey together, and they gave me some ideas too. I kind of touched stone with them because they kind of inspired the story. So
Yeah.
you think kids will like this? So they were like, yes, mom, it's pretty good. So
And then they could look back and say, dang, my mom didn't give up.
right, yes,
That we want to show our children that, yeah, somebody's going to be out there to disappoint us, but there's going to be somebody else that could
you
be able
have
to
to
push
keep
us.
working through it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will get through it. Sometimes it's not now.
Yeah.
We live in the world of instant gratification.
Oh God.
You
Yeah.
want things to happen at the snap of a finger, but sometimes you have to wait.
Yes. It's
Sometimes
all in
doors
God's
are
timing.
opened not when you expect it, but
Hmm.
never give up. Always
Yeah.
keep working at it, and you never know, when it will really come to life. So never give up.
That is so true. I believe it's always in God's timing. It's in His
Definitely.
timing. We want to be able to do things and say, oh, I have this vision, I want to be able to get it out there. But sometimes we just gotta wait. Just like when I had, said earlier, when I reached out to those publishing companies, and when I had experience before that I really don't talk about. And he was like, that's not how your first book is supposed to come out. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. And now I understand it now.
Oh,
But
right.
back then I was like,
Right.
I'm at roadblock, like what is going on here? But that's not how it's supposed to come out. That's not how your debut supposed to be. We always got to look at it. That's not how our debut supposed to be. He wants us to be in a way of excellence. And he
Right.
want to make sure that it's in alignment with, where he knows that you could go. And I get it now. I understand it. I
Right.
get it now. I was like, dang, this is crazy. But I understand and I appreciate it. And I always tell all the authors, sometimes you may not like me, but you're gonna love me when we're done. Because
Yes.
I always push the envelope. I will give you, if I see something's missing, I give it back. And sometimes I get the pushback, but then once I break it down a little bit more, it's like, okay, that makes a little, yeah, that makes sense. Let me go ahead and add this thing here or take away this thing here. But when you get that end product, now we're
We
talking.
appreciate, right.
Yeah, yeah. I've been doing this for a little while now, and sometimes it takes me a while. And I would just talk to somebody else. It took me a long time to be able to like give myself credit. Like Vanessa, you know your stuff. You know your stuff. But sometimes it's like let me just go ahead and just sit back. But
Right. We
sometimes
have self-doubt. We all deal with
yeah,
that self-doubt from
it's
that.
like I don't want to feel like I'm a know-it-all because I'm not a know-it-all. But when I see something, and God gave me this gift for a reason. When I see it, it don't make sense. You have to say something
Something.
because
Yeah.
the ultimate goal is for these authors to win. That is the ultimate goal. You have to win. Period. And I have said that several times. You have to win. So that means you have to have a book that's going to be amazing. So I can't wait until this book and get into these schools, get into the stores, just get into the hands of the children.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and then they can start seeing like, oh wow, I can't wait. I can't wait till the summertime comes around where I can go out and be with my friends and I can be able to make memories with them. And then you can go back and tell your kids. That right there,
Yeah.
that makes your heart so full to be able to say, you can hear your kids talking about, wait a minute, mom is an author now.
Yes.
People are calling for mom's book, or you go to a store, see mom's book. I have is one of my books, I think it's maybe my Do I Not Matter book. I wrote all my children's name and all my grandchildren's name in the book. And so one of them didn't recognize it. And it was like, did you know that mom got us in her book?
And that will be
And
there for all time.
yes. It's just like a beautiful thing. And so then when my grandchildren wound up, they're in my book and I have that I wrote something about them, they was like, Gigi wrote about us. But they could always pick that book up and say,
Mhm.
you know what, I have this. Oh my God, it makes me full. It just makes me so
Yes.
it makes me so full. I want you to tell people how they can be able to pre-order your book because they're going to be able to get this book next month in their hand where you can send them an autographed copy of this book. I want people to be able to know how they can find you on social media. Don't leave nothing out. I want people to make sure they follow you because you got more things in the works. And this is just the beginning of many.
Right. So right now, they can email the summer writing girl at gmail.com to pre-order. I'll send them out the link. They can pre-order. They will receive an autographed copy of the book from me directly. And I'm on Facebook. My name, Gail-Ann Brown. They'll see me there. Um, I'm also on Instagram, Gaily B. So you can reach out to me on any of those platforms or email me. We'll have a link to this interview
Yes.
afterwards so they can check out the links and inquire about how they can pre-order the books. And I hope people will really, gravitate to it because I think although a children's book for young readers, the message is powerful. And I
Yeah.
think this can be an attitude and a new mindset that we generate for the coming years that can really make a difference in this world.
Yes. I totally agree. Totally agree. Gail, thank you so much for trusting me in with your vision, with your baby, that you took off the shelves and trusted me. I'm so, so grateful. And I'm looking forward to so many more things to come.
And thank you too. And thank you for all your hard work and your insight. You educated me a lot and holding my hand through the process. I really, I'm grateful and I enjoyed it too. It was a good learning process for me.
Oh, thank you. Don't be having me. I'm a little. I just love it when the babies are birthed. That's what I call them, birth the book, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much, Gail. We're going to make sure that you will be able to have the links to be able to get her book, get an autographed copy of her book, follow her on social media. Please make sure that you get this book, read it to your children. It's a powerful message behind this, especially what's going on in this world right now. We need to give our children hope again. They're tired of being in a house. They can't travel like they used to. They have to walk around with masks. It's like, dang, when are our children going to be children? So let's give them something again. So when the world opens back up and when they're on that playground, they can remember Gail's book. So thanks so much for joining us, and stay tuned. There's going to be many, many more interviews that we're going to have. And also, if you want to be able to write a book, make sure that you reach out to Inspired by Vanessa, and we will be able to connect and to be able to work with you and see how we could be able to help you self-publish your book. So again, this has been amazing, an absolutely amazing experience. This is also New Year's Eve, which is
Yes.
crazy. This is like what? The end of 2020. We pray that each and every last one of you are safe. We pray that you make sure that you have your goals, stick to your goals that you have for yourself. We pray that you are safe and sound with your families and your loved ones. And we pray that elevation enters your home and you embrace every last one of them. I'm going to leave it right there. I think that was enough. Gail, you want to close us out with some encouraging words?
Yes, as we, 2020 was something else.
Mm.
And we hope that, for 2021, we continue to, yes, keep our families safe, not only physically, mentally, and emotionally. And as we push forward to a new year, we have a brighter outlook for the future. And
Yeah.
we do what we can individually to build a brighter new world.
Oh, I love it. Hey, I can't say nothing after that one. Well, again, thank you so much. This has been absolutely a pleasure. And again, if you want to be able to connect with me, inspiredbyvanessa.com is where you could be able to connect with me, where I could be able to help you, educate you on how you too can self-publish your book. Ownership is key. So again, be blessed. We'll talk to you soon. And with that being said, good night, everyone.
Good night.